I'm delighted to be joined by James Clark, universally known as Clarky, obviously.
Yep.
And you are, according to the club website, the strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, indeed.
I know there's a lot more to you than that, because out of everyone I've ever interviewed for this football club, I think you are the most highly qualified academically.
Really?
And about the only person that comes anywhere close to you is Tom Champion, ironically, who's also
good
new
man.
this season. But we'll come to all that. But what is the role of a strength and conditioning coach in general terms?
Yeah, so, literally just monitoring the players during the off-season, working with Ian, planning sessions, making sure the loads, the intensity of training sessions are exactly the way we want to do it, and making sure that we, each week we gradually build up the players. And yeah, just monitoring them really, using the GPS data to, make sure that we're getting the right loads. We do conditioning before the training sessions. We do conditioning after the training sessions. So yeah, it's pretty full on.
And you're doing the pre-match warm-ups now as well, aren't you?
Yeah, so I do all the pre-match warm-ups. We work at the moment during pre-season, if depending on if the boys are getting 90 or if they're getting 45. If they're doing only 45, we'll do some runs afterwards and make sure that they're catching up, with the distances and the speeds and stuff like that with the other players. So everyone's kind of like equal, so that when we come back into training on Monday, after a game on Saturday, everyone's kind of like on the same load. Yep.
Okay, let's find out a little bit more about your background. When did you first become interested in doing this sort of thing? Because you went to university to start with in this area, didn't you?
Yeah, do you know what? Yes, I went to university in Middlesex, but it actually started before that. I'm from South East London, so I went to a college called Lucian College, and
Right.
I actually done like a scholarship program there as well, just like what we've got here for the younger boys. And part of that program, we done sports qualifications. So I got my gym instructor level 2. Then I done my personal training, and it got a little bit more advanced. And I found a big interest in it whilst playing football myself as well. And just linking the two together, playing and knowing about the mechanics and the science behind the football really interested me. So as soon as I was done from college, without any doubt, I said to myself, I want to go to university, further my knowledge, and I ended up doing a sports science degree. So
Well, let's just go sideways briefly. You mentioned playing. What sort of level did you play at?
I played kind of under 19s conference level when I was at college, and then I went
who
on.
for?
It was Lucian, the college
Right.
that I went to. So we played for the college.
Which club? The college.
Yeah, the college was there.
Sorry.
And from there, I went on and done a little bit for Welling United.
Right.
And then that was it really. After that, I kind of decided to take the route into studying, and then here I am now. So,
Yeah. Well, you took the route into study. You first of all, what was your degree in?
sports and exercise science.
Right. But you then went on from there, didn't you?
Yeah, so after that, again, the more you know, the better you know. So from then on, I started working with some semi-pro clubs and, started getting better experience with that degree. And then I said to myself, the next challenge would be to go on and do an MSc in strength and conditioning, which I recently completed. So yeah, just keep furthering my knowledge really, and understanding more about the players, understanding more about how the coaches want to train. And like I said, me and Ian's been working really closely this year, making sure that we're kind of bouncing off each other, making sure, he asked me, how did that session go, how were the loads every day, and we're constantly communicating and making sure that, his fitness with the ball and my fitness without the ball kind of like collaborates, and we're doing the right things for players. And I think it's showing at the moment as well. To be fair, the boys come back, and I was quite impressed with their start. They was all relatively quite fit, which was a bonus. So we kind of kept going with that and drove them through each week. And I think it's showing with our second half performances over the last couple of games as well, especially against Wimbledon. I thought that we looked extremely fit, and we dig deep and got the 1-0 win. And incredibly on Saturday as well with Chelsea, a thrilling 4-0 in the second half. And again, I think the fitness levels just kept them ticking and got them all the way through the 90 minutes. And fair play to the boys, they've done really well. So.
Yeah. You've done the strength and conditioning role 2 or 3 times, and you're still doing it now. But you've also been an academy manager, haven't you?
Yeah. I've done I was an academy manager, but mainly a head coach. I've done kind of like the Fisher in the Skeffel League Southern Prem. So I was at Fisher a couple of seasons ago. I was their head coach, so I was doing all the ball work stuff as well as the fitness, and yeah, basically just taking the whole sessions by myself really. And we had the manager there that was AJ at the time. He's still there now, funny enough, and yeah, it was good.
And as well as all the academic stuff, which we still haven't finished with, you're qualified. You've got, what's your coaching qualification? UA for B?
Yeah, I've got the B license.
Oh.
Yeah, so you know, one more to go. Hopefully, in the near future. I'm not really too bothered with that at the moment. My main focus is obviously the strength and conditioning, the science around the thing. But you know, having both qualifications, it's the same thing. Ian knows that I can, you know, I'm just as good with the ball work as well as I am with the fitness stuff as well. So combining the both, you know what I mean, it's a win-win situation. So.
Yeah. So you got your degree. You then went on and got your MSc, Masters. But now you're going even further. You're going to become Dr. Clark. Hopefully.
Maybe, hopefully soon. It's going to be a long road.
What's your research going to be into?
It'd be sports science rehabilitation. So again, more mechanical, a lot more scientifical based. I'll be working throughout the year with the boys. They don't know it yet, but they're going to be helping me with my projects and stuff like that. I'll grab a few of them, and and we can, it's going to be a long road, but I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, the more I know, the better for myself, the better for the club, and you know, it helps us with our journey on ticking through and trying to get as high as we can this season.
Absolutely.
And going forward. So.
Absolutely. And to finish off, let's can I just ask about the analysis side of things with the GPS vests, which we've never had before. They were in a box all last season, but I don't think they ever
cobwebs,
got used. Yeah. But they're now being employed all the time, both matches and training. So what sort of things do they tell you, and what do you do with that information?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we work on a certain amount of distance that we want to cover throughout each week. So we might look at analysis daily, we might look at it weekly, but we'll look at stuff like the distance they've covered in certain sessions. We might break our session up into like different zones. So we'll look at how much they covered from one warm-up, say, and then 20 minutes of keep ball with Ian, and we'll crop it and break it down, and it'll give us like a total distance. We look at their speeds over 10, 20, 30 yards. From a manager's point of view, we look at their like movement on heat maps and stuff like that. So tactically, we can analyse where we want their runs to be, or the runs that they're doing on a game day, and you know, the workloads, just the intensity. It's a really good, useful piece of information that, you know, all the clubs that are in this league are using that. So you know, when I came in, the first thing that I wanted to do is kind of show the management, you know, once we start getting into the season, how important that little piece of information is. And even if it just gives us 10%, you know what I mean, 10% to whatever we're achieving going forward, that's a bonus for us, and hopefully, you know, it all works out for us well.
So I assume you have to work, as you have on other things, very closely with Ian Dyer on the use you make of the analysis.
Yeah, Ian's been great. He's the one that actually, you know, wanted someone in to actually do that. Because, like I said, we'll get together, and we, you know, I might say to Ian, you know, the load was that day was quite high, quite intense, and he might have to reevaluate things for the next day. So you know, with that bit of information, because it's all right just watching someone run up and down, but without actually recording it and analysing what they're actually doing, it don't give you an accurate reading. So we just want to make sure that each day we're hitting the right loads, and always with the outcome to prevent as many injuries as we can, really. And I feel that's what it does as well. You know, we can check the acute levels of the analysis, and as long as we're not hitting that red zone throughout the training sessions, we know that we're in the right place, really.
Yeah. And to finish off, let's assume that you're successful in getting your PhD. What are your ambitions?
I don't know. I ain't really thought that far ahead yet, to be fair with you. It's just going to be a long road, really.
Yeah.
And you know, just again, I quite like the practical side of things of you know, doing the strength and conditioning. So at the moment, I feel like I've still got, you know, I'm still learning that role myself, really, and I feel like that's my main priority at the moment. And hopefully years to come in that, and enjoy it, and then decide where I go from there later on. But first of all, get my head down, study hard, do as much success for the club as I can, and then I think that later on down the road.
Brilliant. Thanks very much for giving up your time today. It's been fascinating to find out about your job and yourself. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Cheers.